What's going on, Detroit Tigers fans? And I just wanted to get this out here because it's been really bothering me. I don't think the Tigers need to sign another left fielder. I mean, yeah, there's still some big names out there at this point in time. Cespedes, Upton, even Parra, Jackson, Fowler. But they don't need to sign anybody. They have plenty of money spent on several players right now. If they sign another big contract, I can already, and I mean, even if they don't, I can pretty much already guarantee you, in a few years, the Tigers aren't going to be a great team. I think they might be heading towards the Philadelphia Phillies route because they have so much money tied up into a few players that are getting older. Verlander, Cabrera, Sanchez, Victor Martinez, Ian Kinsler. They're all in their 30s, with Martinez being, I think, 37 or 38. It's not a good mixture right now. And they're all in their declines. Obviously, we could get lucky, and Verlander might keep performing like he did last half season, last year's second half. Cabrera obviously performed well, even though he was injured, but he keeps having those injuries, those nagging injuries that could take a toll on him. Same with Victor Martinez. Yes, he's just a DH, and DHs tend to do well. Like, look at Big Papi. I mean, but still, if he keeps having problems with his knees, that's not good. If Sanchez keeps giving up a million home runs, that's not good either. Kinsler, he started out slow last year, but obviously came on very strong later on, but he's still getting older. Like I said, we could get lucky, but I don't think it's a good idea to sign another big-name player. And even if they sign like a one-year deal, I still don't think they need a left fielder. You have, in the outfield, you have J.D. Martinez in right, and then you have, between center field and left field, Tyler Collins, Mike Aviles, who can also play the infield, yes, Anthony Gose, Cameron Maybin, and you can even go as far as say Andrew Romine, because he can play the outfield if you need him to. He logged a few innings in left field last year, and in spring training. But we're not going to, well, actually we could talk about Romine, but because this is about the left fielder, and it's about the Tigers spending as well. So, obviously, JD is in right, and I wouldn't mind if they locked him up long term. Yeah, he's already like 28, but maybe like locking him up to a 4-year deal or something wouldn't be bad, but nothing like 5, 6, 7. That would not be good. But yeah, he's a free agent after 2017, which I think he'd be around 30. So maybe keeping him through the age 34 season wouldn't be a bad thing. But that's probably another video. I know it's been a while since I've done a video here, but I need to get this off my chest. Tyler Collins, we'll talk about him first, because he's the one that everybody's scared about. He performed last year in the majors. I mean, was he spectacular? No. Is he the greatest defender in left field? No way. He's made several errors in left. He's never been a great defender. But, I mean, he's a lefty with power. He has some speed. He can steal some bases if we need him to. He's a young player that's controllable and doesn't cost much money, which is a big plus right there. And if I remember correctly, he has a decent throwing arm. I mean, for left, so I like Tyler Collins. Nobody's giving him a chance. He deserves a chance. Why do we have these young players? So we can give him a chance to play. And he's shown that he might not be a starter, but he could definitely be a platoon player, maybe not a very good one, but a decent one. He could probably hit 250, 260, 15 homers, maybe even anywhere between 5 to 7 stolen bases, I'm thinking, while probably making 7 or 8 errors in the outfield. Hopefully not that much, but that's actually about an average player right there. That's not below average, it's not above average, but that's about average, which is really pretty decent. Then you have Anthony Gose. Tons of speed, really good throwing arm, decent defense, just needs to try to get on base more and hit a little bit more. He hit, I believe, in the 255 or 256 last year, if I remember correctly. It was like 255 to like 262 I have in my mind. But he also did not get on base. He's another lefty, which the Tigers not desperately need lefties, but it's nice to have him there. But like I said, that tons of speed is what really plays in. So he's really good at center field with all of that speed and a great throwing arm for center field. He probably has a good enough throwing arm to even playing right, but obviously, like I said, that's JD Martinez's spot. We're going to leave JD out of this because right field that's done. We're talking about left and center. And I mean, if you keep Ghost at the bottom of the lineup, it's not that big of a deal. But then who are you going to have lead off? I mean, Kinsler. Yeah, you have Kinsler. You could probably go Kinsler, Iglesias, Cabrera, V-Mart, JD, or even flip-flop them. Castellanos. That's another video, too. I like Castellanos. Then McCann. Then left field and center field. Probably. But you also have Cameron Maybin. A righty. Tons of speed. Needs to hit better, get on base a bit more. But tons of speed. Lately, he's rated as a poor defender, but before that, he's been above average. So maybe you can get back to that. So you have Cameron Maybin with tons of speed, just needs to get on base more, hit a bit more, but decent defender, can get on base. Then you have Mike Aviles, who can play many positions. He can play the outfield, and then he can play all infield positions except for first base, because I don't think he's ever actually played it in the majors. I've always liked Aviles. I don't know. I mean, I like his batting stance. I don't know why. That's just, he has a really great batting stance. But he has some speed, and he has some pop. Yes, they've been in decline, because he actually, I believe, is 34 years of age. So he has been in a steady decline for the past couple of years. But he's been still a solid utility presence. Super utility presence, really. Right-handed bat, some pop, some speed. He isn't a great defender, though. That's not a strong suit of his. But he can play many different positions. Romine is a good super utility player. The thing is, he's actually a good defender. That was the same with Don Kelly. He could play everywhere, and he actually could defend very well. Mike Aviles can play just about everywhere. He's just not very good at playing everywhere. But, like I said, he brings some power and some speed off of the bench that we need. Not a ton, but if you're in a huge bind and you just need something, Mike Aviles is your guy. I mean, our bench is very improved. I was happy with that Mike Aviles signing. I wasn't sure. He was actually one of the players I was hoping the Tigers would go after. But I do hope that Tyler Collins gets a shot to play. I think he really deserves it. He's done well in the minors. He used in the lower minors. He actually hit over 300 or in the 290s without showing his power. But then he changed his swing, and his average has declined, but his power has gone up. Hopefully, maybe he can change his swing and actually get his average up. But I like Collins. He lefty power bat, which you don't. I mean, that's a commodity nowadays. Teams want that. Why not let him play? Then you have tons of speed with Maybin and Ghost. And Maybin will actually hit you a few home runs. Not a ton, but I think he has hit double digits once or twice in his career. Not very far, over 10 and 11, but still. Some pop, and then Aviles can play everywhere. And so can Romine. Romine actually gives you a ton of speed. Romine actually, in the minor leagues, stole over 50 bags, I believe, twice. So, Romine gives you a ton of speed. That's another thing the Tigers really need to improve on, though, is base running. 2014, they're actually really decent at it. 2015, oh my god. They had 5 players that were caught almost as many times as they stole bases. And that was, and the least, I think Iglesias was 10 and 9. Kinsler was right around that as well. Same with Romine. They were all 10-9, 10-8, stuff like that. Rajay Davis was 22 and 12, and same with Ghost was 20 and 11 or something like that. It was just bad. And then not just stealing bases, but even just running the bases. They ran themselves into so many outs. It was so bad. So hopefully Omar Vizquel can help them a bit more. Because 2014, they were fine. Because Omar Vizquel is also he's our first base coach, infield coach and base. Why would he be our outfield coach? Since he was a shortstop. Infield coach and our base running coach. 2014, like I said, they were good. 2015, what? I don't know what happened there. But back to the spending portion. And the decline of players. They're not all 5. at least one of those 5 players that I mentioned, Anibal Sanchez, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, Justin Verlander, Ian Kinsler, at least one of them is going to decline hard. And it's looking like it might be Victor. But obviously he's a DH, so maybe he can get back into form. If it's not Victor, it might be Sanchez. So, I don't know, but I mean, a lot of people probably say Verlander, but that's last half season of last season. That didn't sound right. But the second half of last season, the way he pitched, and it wasn't a small sample. It wasn't just like 4 starts. It was, I think, maybe around 14 or 15 starts or something or so. Maybe even more than that. That's actually a pretty decent sample size and how well he actually pitched. That was great. His first several starts were not good, but pretty much every start after that was phenomenal. It was right on. So I would probably, I mean, obviously I'm going to put Cabrera at the very end of that list, but I might put Verlander just right in front of him. Well, no, maybe Kinsler, because Kinsler hasn't really shown too much decline, like except for like the first couple months of 2015. But then the way he came on after that was fantastic. He has his speed has declined, and I mean, so really has his power, but he can still get on base and still hit. So that's, a lot of people are always like, oh, they don't have any power, they're a horrible player. That's the one thing that really bothers me. Like, I know this is a different topic, kind of off topic, but like Ben Revere, who was just traded to the Nationals, he has no power, but he's a great player. Tons of on base, he can get on base a lot. He can hit a lot, over 300 several seasons, and he steals 40, 50 bags a year. I mean, he's not a great defender, but that might be because his speed plays way too into that. He might overrun stuff. That actually can happen. If you have too much speed, you actually sometimes make more errors because you get to more balls than most people. So, but I mean, he has a weak arm, and I think he's been in the majors since 2010. I think he only has like 3 career home runs or something like that. But I mean, still, you don't need power to succeed. You don't need power to be even a great player. Jose Altuve. Yeah, last year Jose Altuve, I think, hit like 15 homers. But before then, he's never hit double-digit home runs. While he's led the league in hits twice. And he's a superstar player, Altuve, and he's 5'5", or 5'6", as some people say. But I'm pretty sure he's 5'5". So, but okay, sorry, that was off topic. Just there's so much about Tigers and stuff, and so much about baseball I just want to get off my chest, but there's other videos for that. So, and then everybody's like, I was about to go to Castellanos, but that's another video. There's just so much that I want to talk about. But the decline, Cabrera hasn't really shown decline, but he's been getting injured, having those nagging injuries. Verlander finally got hurt. He has shown decline, but somehow came back fantastic. Kinsler hasn't really shown decline, but Victor and Anibal Sanchez have, and they're only going to get older. They're not getting any younger. Yes, I mean, sometimes just because you're getting older doesn't mean anything. Big Papi, for instance. It doesn't really mean anything. I mean, Ichiro Suzuki was still hitting very well just a couple years ago. Last year he didn't do well, but just a couple years ago he was still hitting like around 300. So, and he was around, I think at that time, 38 or 39. So just because they're getting older doesn't mean they're going to decline, but you can pretty much guarantee one or even 2 of those players are going to decline hard, and you're not going to be able to trade them. You're definitely not going to be able to trade Victor Martinez, and he still has 3 years left on his contract. He'll be playing, I think, in a Tigers uniform at least till his age 40 season or through his age 40 season. I believe so. Yeah, he's a DH, but that might not be good for the Tigers. It might be like a Philadelphia Phillies. Yes, they didn't have a DH, but just look how poor they're playing now. Ryan Howard can't hit. Chase Utley can't hit. I know they're Chase Utley and like Jimmy Rollins, which they aren't with them anymore, but Jimmy Rollins can't hit anymore. I mean, Carlos Ruiz, who I think actually Philadelphia still has Ruiz. Yeah, they actually still have Ruiz. He can't hit anymore either. Yeah, they traded Cole Hamels, who could actually still pitch, but they hit ground hard because of massive contracts a ton of money. They couldn't do anything. They were actually able to trade a couple of them away. I don't think the Tigers could get that lucky, especially with Victor Martinez. If in like a couple years or so, if they're doing horrible, they're not going to be able to trade Victor Martinez. And obviously you don't want to trade Miguel Cabrera. Well, let's not even talk about that. And I don't even think they would try to trade Cabrera, because why would you want to? And then Verlander, maybe they would try to trade, but nobody's going to... I doubt anybody would take Verlander. He signed through 2020 or 2021, and currently in 2016 he's already, I think, 33. And then Kinsler, he's actually a free agent after... Actually, I think, after next season, I believe. And then Sanchez is a free agent after 2017 or 2018. I don't 100% remember when he signed that 5-year extension. But they're all in their low to about mid-30s, I guess you could say. And at the end of their contracts, they're just going to more than likely be in a decline. So hopefully not, but I just needed to get that off my chest, because if you keep signing players at big contracts, you're just going to fall flat on your face and be in a rebuild mode. Which, sometimes a rebuild mode is not a bad thing, but, I mean, look at Houston. They've been in a rebuild mode for a few years, but now they're a very good team. And also, anything can happen in baseball. Tigers might be a great team a few years from now. Tigers might be a horrible team a few years from now. Tigers might rebuild one year and the next year somehow compete. Baseball is a funny game like that. Anything can happen, but these are my opinions. I just wanted to get them out there, so I hope they informed you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Probably talk about Castellanos, so see ya.